Atticus, and I hope you guys are well. I'm back with you of today's replay, and this one's a really cool one. I know that I say that about most of the replays, but yeah, this is one of the closest games that I've played in a while, and it's, Vampire Coast versus the Lizardmen, and this thing really came down to the wire, like crazy close. You'll see. So let's go ahead and jump into the builds, guys. For my lord leading this battle, I have Vampire Fleet Admiral Polearm Deep. So I didn't want to go a large lord just because the Lizardmen have so many options to anti-large of Carnosaurs and, skinks and things like that who could focus fire him down. So I wanted something that I could maybe, catch him by surprise and do some large myself. For my spells, I have the Fog spell that lowers melee attack and the Crab summons. Now, the Vampire Fleet Admiral also has a few interesting spells, like All Hands Ahoy, which is a really good area of effect, and the Van Hortsman Speculum, is that how you say it? Which is a really good area of debuff. So for my front line, guys, we are going Sirens, and this is pretty much only option you got if you want to win the infantry fight. You need something that has the armor piercing, and Sirens do cause terror, so it has the added benefit of maybe breaking their lines in that regard. So we have one unit of zombie pirate deckhand mobs. We have a couple scurvy dogs here, and these guys are going to be really important dealing with the skirmishers of the enemy, and I have one here in the back in reserve. Also, I have a secondary line that consists of the Black Spot, which are the anti-large armor-piercing handgunners. I also have 2 units of mortars, and these guys are going to be the counter to skinks, because what is the number one way you deal with Vampire Coast? Range units. So if you have mortars shooting the chameleons the whole time, it kind of, puts some pressure back onto them and kind of makes him have to keep them, zoned out. Protecting my range units, I have the Bloody Reavers, and these guys have a really cool damage reduction. I think it's like 60% or 40-something% less damage they take. It only lasts for like 30 seconds, but it could come in handy in a really important engagement. And last but not least, guys, we have a Deathstreak Terrorgeist. And you wouldn't think this might not be the best pick just because Lizardmen have, like I was saying, so many anti-large. But he's a lot more well-rounded. He has those, his breath attacks that do a lot of damage. And he causes terror. So he could be a mobile platform of maybe landing into the back line, help me gooning lords, or winning the Saurus battle. So that's my army, guys. Also have 1 unit of handgunners here, the deck droppers. And these guys, I have to protect as long as they don't get killed by chameleons. Their sole purpose is the Lord Snipe. As for my opponent here, really cool Lizardman army. He brought a Slan Mage of Heavens, and for his spell loadout, guys, he has the one that lowers melee attack and Wind Blast. And he also has Banishment, which is the bound spell. We have a Revivification Crystal here. For his front line, guys, we have Saurus with shields. This is the regular Saurus. He's not going for the Spears, which is a good pick in my opinion, just because, these guys are going to crush through the zombies even more quicker than, the Spears would. Secondary line is Skink Cohorts. He has a Pharaoh Bastillodon, 2 Pharaoh Bastillodons, and then the back, guys, is anti-large contingent. He has 2 Cold One Spear Riders and a Pharaoh Carnosaurus. So let's go ahead and start the match, guys. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a close one. So, I forgot to mention he also has some skirmishers here. 2 chameleon skinks. Is it just 2? Yeah, just 2. And he has them in deep vanguard. So my mortars can't open up, obviously, since they're not in, they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Stealthed. They're hidden. So, right off the bat here, guys, I'm just going to start sending my handgunners. Now, I know he probably has skinks. Any Lizardman worth his salt is going to have some. So I have to be really cautious with my handgunners here. You can see that I'm going around a sideways path right here. Never go through the middle, guys, because most of them will, put their guys right here in the front. And as soon as I see them, obviously I'm going to pull them back. And I'm going to use these hounds here to skirmish for them. And these hounds, the only role these hounds have are countering the chameleons, them and the mortars. So let's go ahead and fast forward it, guys, till we get into some action here. So you can see my opponent is moving his army. He's transitioning, but he is going to have some chameleons here that try to screen me out, and as soon as I see him, I'm going to pull away almost instantly. He's going to get a few volleys right here, and you can see, guys, the poison does slow him down, so that's another thing I have to be careful of. If they get poisoned, they will slow. Over here, my hounds are in position, and now I'm even going to take the Deathstreak Terrorgeist to try to get an early breath attack, and you can see I have a hound unit over there too, just hiding. So here comes the first breath attack. It's going to do pretty good damage. We're going to kill about 3 models and, weaken the unit by probably a 10th. And yeah, it's just free damage, guys. I'm going to go ahead and fly away. I'm trying to force a mistake out of my opponent. You can see he has his 2 chameleons here, but I have my hounds as well. Now, I don't want to charge him in while he still has the support of the secondary force right here, because for one, they'll just get poisoned and they'll run away, and then my hounds would be exposed. So I'm just being patient, guys. I'm waiting for, as the Vampire Coast, obviously you play a very defensive play style. So we'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit more as my opponent moves up. You can see right here, we're just playing a game of chicken with the scurvy dogs. Whenever I see him trying to come in on him, I'm just going to pull him away, and I'm just trying to wait for my opponent to get inside the mortar's range. And once he does, we'll be able to start doing a little bit more damage. The black spot's also going to have the job right here, guys, of dealing with the Bastiladons that are going to be crushing through my front line. You can see I am going to get one volley off by the deck droppers, just chipping away a little bit of damage. His skinks weren't paying attention. And yeah, we're just doing a really patient game right here. But when you start shooting at your opponent, it is going to force him to have to move up. Most people will respond. You can see we're going to get some mortar shots right into these Saurus right here. And now I want these guys shooting the chameleons, but since they're a hard target, we might as well just start softening up this front line. These Saurus are going to be really important for dealing with all my sirens and things like that. So here comes another volley of the mortars. We'll see where it lands at. And yeah, 2 direct hits right into these Saurus. Now, I didn't do a lot of damage, guys. Mortars is not, say like the Hellstorm rocket battery, but after a while it does, add up. You can see I get another breath attack by my Death Shriek Terrorgeist. And yeah, now the front lines are getting ready to collide. We're going to get another mortar hit, direct mortar hit. Here comes another volley. And yeah, this is kind of the name of the game with the Vampire Coast, guys. Play a very, patient, ranged, defensive play style. And you can see, guys, just on this approach, we almost got this unit to, a quarter of their health. You can see right here the deck droppers are starting to shoot in on these the Slade Slon Mage, and over here, guys, I'm getting one of my scurvy dogs in the back. We're going to be able to try to get into his chameleons. The sirens are going to go charging into the Saurus, and since he doesn't have any magic damage, yeah, these sirens are going to sirens are going to last a really long time. Over here, Saurus are going to cry into the deck dropper, the zombie deckhand, and they'll actually kill those guys within seconds. But I'm separating my army, guys. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't get a flank on me. He is going to cast Shield of the Old Ones here, but yeah, as of right now, guys, you can see the deck droppers is just playing a lot of different ranged Overwatch into the Slon right here, and he doesn't really have an answer to it. You can see now the 2 chameleons over here are his only defense, but he hasn't chosen to commit them to defending yet. Over on this side, guys, you can see I got a rear charge into these Saurus. I was just trying to proc the rear charge penalty, and I'm going to see his 2 chameleons, and finally I'm going to commit my scurvy dogs to chasing him off. Now, I won't necessarily kill him, but it's going to screen those 2 guys out, which is really important for me. Over here, you see the Bloody Reaver deck droppers were forced to have to get into combat, but it's with skink cohorts. These guys are really weak, so yeah, the Bloody Reavers will kill those guys, no problem. A spell is going to get dropped right here. It's going to be one of my spells. It's going to be my opponent's spells, actually. It's going to be Curse of the Midnight Wind. But you can see that I'm going to cast some of my things, like All Hands Ahoy, the Winds of Magic one. And we're just trying, trying to win the opponent through attrition. Over here, you see my opponent's being really patient with his anti-large, waiting for an opening, and he's going to see it, so he is going to decide to collide. But since my lord is on foot, they're not going to have that good of a target. So this whole time, guys, you can see this deck droppers has just been raining in on this Slon Priest, and I am going to cast Fog of the Damned right on this glob right here, which is going to lower the melee attack. And he really needs to get these skinks into dealing with the deck droppers. You can see he did kill the scurvy dogs, but I still have one here in Vanguard that's escorting some things off. And you can see, guys, the power of the sirens just terror-routing all these units and beating him, and we're doing pretty good. This whole game, guys, the black spot has been in, and it's we're trying to focus the Pharaoh Carnosaur, and you can see, guys, we're doing a lot of damage. I'm going to get another spell off right here. This one is another Fog of the Damned. And yeah, you can see I'm going to get a Rotting Promethean summon as well. And we're just trying to clog up his troops, guys. Because keep in mind, this whole time, I got mortars that have been raining in. Now, my opponent does have a unit of Saurus Warriors right here. He's going to realize that they're just standing around, and we'll get him into combat here pretty shortly. But yeah, guys, look at the Overwatch the Black Spot is doing. I'm going to lay my Terrorgeist. It's doing a little duel with the Pharaoh Carnosaur. Now, the Terrorgeist is no joke, but it is fighting an anti-large unit. Even though we were able to break his infantry units, yeah, he is taking a lot of damage. Over here, you can see the Pharaoh Carnosaur is getting attacked by Sirens, who have really good armor piercing. And since he's anti-large, guys, he's not going to do a lot of damage. Over here, the Ferrobustodon is going to go charging in, but one of the the bonuses of the black spot is they have anti-large, anti-piercing, so they won't do a lot of damage, but at least they are going to be able to defend themselves a little bit. You can see, guys, we have broken the Slon Mage. This whole game, these deck droppers have just been crushing him. Now his unit, his Chameleon Skinks here are getting caught in combat too, and you can see the Bloody Reavers are right on his tail. This is a really good pick for me, guys, and the balance of power is really strongly in my favor. I'm thinking, I'm really confident at this point, thinking, okay, I got this. The Cold One Spear Riders and the Pharaoh Carnosaur, and you can see I am going to cast the Van Hornsman Speculum, which is just lowering debuff in this army, and that's kind of the name of the game, guys. You can see that my opponent did realize about the Saurus Warriors that were being AFK, and he is going to charge them in, and I'm going to lose a mortar, which is really unfortunate. But you can see, guys, the Black Spot were able to deal with the Ferrobustodon, and I think the Black Spot are such a good unit just for that. You can see the Pharaoh Carnosaur is going to rampage with the Overwatch of the handgunners and the black spot with their anti-large, and I am going to get a crab summon, guys, because I wanted to stop this unit of Saurus before they got to my last unit of mortars right here. Over here, yeah, you can see that the crabs are dealing with the Saurus, and yeah, guys, they'll be able to win that pretty effectively. Opponent's going to get a really good banishment spell. It's going to go right onto these Bloody Reavers, and yeah, they're taking a lot of damage, guys, but that, like I said, they have that debuff, which lowers their melee attack, but this is really unfortunate, guys. My opponent has the Skink Chameleon shooting right into the face of the Bloody Reavers, and I don't have any more Scurvy Dogs that can really deal with them. My opponent's Slon Mage has came back. Balance of power is really strong in my favor, though. But yeah, my opponent's going to get another unit of Saurus that have Rampage to shut down my last unit of Mortars. You can see the Black Spot guys have held their own against a Bastillodon, the Carnosaur, and now some Cold One Spear Riders who are going to have the Shield of the Old Ones and Cold-Blooded casted on them. But yeah, guys, I mean, if you looked at it right now, it would look like it's in my favor. You can see the Bloody Reavers are trying to chase off the Slon Mage, and yeah, they are faster, so we'll be able to nip his tails. And if we're able to break him, guys, it's really going to give us a bonus. You can see over here the Crab Summon, the Rotting Prometheans are still fighting with the Saurus Warriors, and I bet my opponent was wishing he had the anti-large variant right now. Some Saurus Warriors have gotten to the Black Spot, which is really unfortunate. The Black Spots are not meant for melee combat, and my opponent is just trying to run away with his Slon Mage. He's using this Bastillodon, guys, but keep in mind, my Vampire Lord, Fleet Admiral, is anti-large as well. It's the pole arm. We are going to break these Saurus Warriors, guys. It's going to open the Black Spot up, and they're going to start shooting right into the back of the Slon Mage. We have to keep him from routing, or coming back from route. And if we look back, guys, my opponent has scattered forces all around the map. I was forced to use my deck droppers to try to chase off these chameleons, and I'm just trying to buy some time, for me as I escort these troops off the map. Our opponent has a unit of Skink cohorts. Are going to, play some interference right into the deck droppers, or excuse me, the Bloody Reavers. And it's going to allow his units to get away and, quite possibly break off. I'm going to get another unit casting a Fog of the Dam, but yeah, these were summoned units, so they didn't last. They crumbled. And you can see, guys, I'm losing the Black Spot. The Saurus Warriors were able to crush them, and that's a really, hard blow for me. But look at the balance of power, guys. Anybody, with 2 cents would be thinking, yeah, I got this game. How is my opponent going to make a comeback after this? And, if you look at it, like, he has 2 units right here that have completely broken. If you see that little skull icon right there, that means they can't come back. But his Lord has. His Lord, after all that damage is taken, let's look how many health he has. 340 health, is still alive, and my opponent still has these Chameleon Skinks with, a lot of ammunition and heals from the Ferrobustodon. If you look at my forces, guys, I'm reduced to a Fleet Admiral, which is, still really good health, and a unit of the Bloody Reavers. So it's really coming down to escorting these guys off the map, guys. I need to keep them from coming back, but yeah, this is really unfortunate. His Lord is going to gain back his leadership and start immediately going in for his support. And you can see, guys, we're going to start getting volleys in the face by the Chameleons, who are doing, not only are they, doing a lot of damage, they're poisoning me and slowing me, and this is really unfortunate for my Lord. I am going to be forced now to try to chase these units, but I have no way of, there's no way I'm going to be able to catch them. I am going to cast the Enrage, which was the damage resistance ability, and we're just trying to keep these guys alive. I need to keep them alive. But yeah, guys, you can see that all those Chameleons have gotten my Lord down to almost low health right now, and I'm trying to go from left to right, trying to get left to right, and then I decide, all right, I'm going to mix him into the army, so at least he won't be able to focus fire him. And you can see, guys, yeah, whatever we do, remember that huge balanced power lead we have? I mean, it's slowly, surely starting to shrink. I'm going to get a Fog of the Dam on these guys. I only did it just to lower his leadership. I thought maybe I would get him to rout. It doesn't have any thing that messes with their accuracy or anything like that. But I was hoping, maybe their leadership, they would start to crumble. My opponent, his Slaughter Mage did break. It broke off screen, so I didn't even do any damage to it. Its leadership just routed. You can see over here, guys, my opponent has a couple Saurus Warriors and Skink cohorts coming back. But yeah, here it is, the final battle. I am going to cast Fog of the Damned right here, guys. It's going to lower some of their stats, but yeah, we're not getting them all into. We're not getting them all inside the spell right here. The Bloody Reavers are fighting really good, but they're not going to win against Saurus Warriors. But I was able to get the Van Horseman Speculum off, and Balance of Power is really strong in my favor still, guys. You can see the Fleet Admiral is fighting Chameleons, and at this point, guys, I'm still thinking, like, okay, I got this. You can see we're breaking off his units. He does have this unit of Skinks with almost no ammunition, but the Bloody Reavers are just really heavily outnumbered. But, even with all hands ahoy, we're still holding into this game. Now, these Saurus guys just will not die. That's the really unfortunate thing about them. And our leadership of my lord is really a lot, staying strong as well. But my opponent has a lot of, reinforcements starting to come, and now we're getting the rear penalty. But yeah, I'm still thinking this is going to be my game. I'm thinking, like, there's no way I could lose this. I mean, the Balance of Power, he doesn't have a lord. Even though I'm getting ready to lose the Bloody Reaver deck drop, Death Guard, even when I cast their Enrage, which causes the damage resistance, I'm thinking, all right, well, I'll still have a lord at, medium health. Now, there is a lot of troops coming in, though, and that means that if my units are surrounded, they're going to be getting hit from every different angle. But, a lot of, like most armies, when you don't have a lord, they'll just break to the, they'll just crumble to the leadership, guys. And right now, yeah, it's just any man's game. And now it's just my lord left. You can see 2 units of his are routed. And look at that Balance of Power, guys. Now, if you had to put money, like, who was going to win this game, who would you do? Just from what you see right here. 2 units routing. He just has a low unit of Chameleon Skinks and 1 unit of Saurus Warriors, left in the match. Who would you put your money on? Okay, take your bets. So we're going to keep on fighting, guys. And, yeah, I'm getting kind of frustrated because I'm thinking, all right, he only has 34 units. And he has 46 Chameleons. And these guys don't have the greatest of combat stats. Let's go ahead and look at what the Chameleon Skinks are. 20, yeah. Look at that Balance of Power, guys. Already shrinking. Now, I'm going to get another spell off here. It's going to be another Fog of the Dam. And I'm thinking, all right, this will definitely, put it in my favor. Look at that. Leadership routing on both these guys. It's giving me even more leadership, even though I'm taking a lot of damage. And you can see I did it all hands ahoy, giving me more weapon damage, more armor piercing. Yeah, he's still just not dying. These 2 units right here, these Chameleons and these Saurus, are just holding in like nothing I've ever seen. Balance of Power now, guys, for the first time in pretty much any part of the game, is going to go to my opponent right here. And I'm getting really frustrated. I'm thinking, no way. You know what I mean? Like, it was halfway to being completely mine. Opponent does have some... what I thought I saw some Chameleons. Yeah, so he does have this unit of Saurus that just refused to die. I am going to break these Chameleons. And now the Balance of Power is right in the middle, dead center pretty much, with maybe a little smidge of my opponent. So this is going to be the final charge, guys. The Fleet Admiral and 33 Saurus Warriors. Now, if you think about it in the lore, a Vampire Lord should be able to hold its own. Balance of Power, look at the Balance of Power, guys. Jumps immediately to my favor right here. And then it just drops, goes right back to the Saurus. Both of us are starting to rout, guys. Both of our leaderships are starting to tank. But look at the leadership. It collapses, and my opponent's able to somehow pull off a victory of this game. Talk about frustrating. I was like, how was that even possible? Oh, man. Let's go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown, talk about some of the keys for my opponent's success, I guess. I stand by my build. I think it did everything right. I mean... I don't know why the Saurus were able to beat the Fleet Admiral, so I don't really have much insight in what I could have done differently. But yeah, guys, I mean, well, I guess we'll just leave it at that, kind of just like a WTF moment. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that one. Good job, Jin Killy. We had a lot of good games with him. He's a really cool guy, good opponent. And yeah, it's Atticus. I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye-bye.